Setup is everything. Y'all know that, right? I just flipped my camera to the side and was like, let me try this. Anyways, welcome back to Empowered Doula. This video is going to be about postpartum depression. As you guys know, if you've been here for a while, I had a baby 8 months ago. Around 6 months postpartum, I started to experience postpartum depression. And I wanted to share with you guys some signs that I noticed early on so that you can be aware of them and your partner can be aware of them and they can pay attention to them and you can get help early. So let's get into this video. So, first things first, I want to talk about how just random it was. It came out of nowhere, obviously, but I noticed that I started to feel like really, really sad and like I wanted to cry, but I was just randomly sad, but also very spacey on type of the sadness. Like, to give you an example, like I would be breastfeeding my son and I would just be staring off to like some random space. I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? And my fiance noticed immediately. I remember him asking me, like, babe, are you okay? And I would be like, yeah, I guess, because I didn't really know what it was immediately. I also just had just random moments where I would just cry and I would be like, I don't know why I'm crying right now. Um I was just like extremely sad, extremely sad. But another thing that I noticed was I was breastfeeding. I stopped breastfeeding at about 6 months old because of some medical issues that I had. But I was breastfeeding and I wanted nothing to do with breastfeeding. Like I wanted him off of me. Like my mental was just rejecting breastfeeding. Like the moment he wanted to get on my breast, I would get so annoyed. I would roll my eyes and I would put him on clearly and not like really show any of this towards him. I want y'all to know that, but I would still feel that way. I would feel like just get off of me. Like instantly just get away from me. I wanted nothing to do with breastfeeding at all the entire time that I was experiencing postpartum depression. I also noticed that I was extremely moody. Like I was very, very moody, not towards my kid, but more so towards my fiance. I was very like angry.
What are you trying to hide me for, huh?
He's annoying, but I was very angry. I was just very angry. I had like a lot of like rage, I guess you can call it, towards him and towards the slightest things that I probably wouldn't have had towards him if I wasn't going through postpartum depression. So that was just like another thing that I noticed immediately. And obviously he noticed too, as well. My fiance noticed that I had a decrease in my appetite. I didn't notice this, but he said that I did. But you know what? Now that I'm saying this out loud, I did because I went from like in the very beginning stages, all I wanted to do was eat, 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 which is you need to do that to breastfeed and it's for a reason. But anyways, like I just wanted to just eat and then I went to like I guess like not wanting to eat as much or not like having the appetite to want to eat. I didn't notice it until now, but that was one thing that he noticed as well. And I was extremely, I don't know if I said this, I don't think I did, but I was very irritable. Like, don't talk to me, don't say anything annoying, what I deem as annoying, of course. Don't touch me. Like I don't know why, but that's just the way that I was in the beginning. Um, as well in the beginning of the postpartum depression. I was just extremely like irritable. I did say like I didn't want any parts of like breastfeeding. I don't think people talk about that enough. Like how like when you're experiencing postpartum depression, like and you're breastfeeding, you don't want to breastfeed. Like you're like, get this kid the hell away from me. Even though it's your kid. It's your kid. But get this kid away from me. And then the last thing that I noticed was that I felt extremely just disconnected from my body. Like I was here but I wasn't like here, but I was physically here. I just felt so disconnected. We went to New York around like 7 months postpartum, and I was still going through postpartum depression. And my mother-in-law, like, I noticed like she would be paying attention to me when when I was breastfeeding. Like, my baby would want to breastfeed. He would want to breastfeed because it was hot and we were walking, so it made sense that he would want more liquids. So it wasn't an issue. But like when he would want to breastfeed, like immediately I was just like, oh, because he was just snacking all the time. That's just to say that I went through a lot of different emotions when it came to postpartum, and this just me just sharing those different emotions that I was going through at that time. Everybody is so different. I'm sure people experience it differently than I experienced it. But what helped me was a few different things. So when it comes to nutrients, I'm going to put them on the screen. But the biggest thing is when you are deficient in certain things and then your hormones are all over the place, that can heavily contribute to your mental health. Now, if you have, it's certain providers that will not tell you how important iron is. Like, for instance, there's so many people that walk around severely anemic and nobody really recognize how much that's affecting your mental health or even your health in general. Um, and then there's so many things like vitamin D, like black people in general, people of color, but black people in general, we're severely deficient in vitamin D. How often do we get outside? How often are we in the sun, especially when you live in states that don't have 24/7 sunlight like me? I'm in Florida, but we don't even have 24/7 sunlight. We don't even have it right now. So vitamin D deficiency can contribute so much to your mental health. B12 can contribute so much to your mental health. Folic acid or folate, whatever the case may be, can contribute to your mental health. So many different things. As I'm talking about them, I'm putting them on the screen. So you guys are going to be able to see which one that I'm talking about. I wanted to share the exact thing that helped me, and my lactation consultant was the one that suggested it because I was still breastfeeding at the time. So she wanted to make sure that I took something that I could take while breastfeeding. It's called L-theanine. I think I'm saying it right. I'm gonna put it on the screen, and if you want me to, I'll put the link in my bio as well. But this is what's actually helped me postpartum with the postpartum depression. It Like, I don't have it anymore. I do have sometimes the intrusive thoughts, but it's not as bad. And yeah, because that was horrible. I talked about it in my last video. But those are the signs that I notice with postpartum depression that I want to share with y'all. If you had anything different, I would love to hear your story. You can just comment it below. But that was what I experienced. So that is the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.